Yo, what's going on? We're live. It is happy hour Thursday, July 16th, 2020. What's going on, everybody? 3 p.m. here in Nubia, Iowa. Hopefully, it is a time where you can join me in having a nice, refreshing drink wherever you are. It doesn't have to be alcoholic, as long as it's refreshing. That's all that matters. I wanted to go down to the local brewery, which is not something that I've always been able to say in this part of Iowa. But I wanted to go to the local brewery. I just didn't end up having enough time. I actually had some work calls that I had to do today. Fortunately, they weren't video calls. I'm going to have a video call coming up soon. And I'm not sure what to do about all this. And I didn't bring any work clothes with me this summer. So that's going to be interesting to show up to a work Zoom conference call on Monday. So anyway, so today what I've got is another one of the Goose Island summertime beers. It is a German style Kolsch. It's been very tasty. It's been treating me real well this summer, so I've been enjoying them. So that's what I have today. Nothing novel, but a tasty beer. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Stevie76 is here in his Dunbar. My mom's here. Martha's here as well. Maxio says this is Maxio's first live stream. What's going on? Welcome. Glad to have you here. Lonnie A, Ty Matt, JC, who says he won't pretend. He's tried to like IPAs, but he just doesn't. You know, I originally didn't like IPAs. The first time I started liking IPAs was this was maybe 7 years ago, maybe longer. I don't think we had kids at the time, so it was more than 8 years ago. We went to San Francisco. My wife was there for work, and I tagged along. I was working remotely on a week that my wife. Yeah, this is definitely when we had kids. Before we had kids, and I went to this one bar. I think it was on the wharf, and it had 40 different taps. And I just spent the afternoon there. By the time I left, I was like, okay, I like IPAs now. So it was good. Yeah. So it's okay if you don't like them, though. I know a lot of people don't. I think that the U.S. is on a huge IPA kick. I think it's going to swing back. I think it's already started to swing back from it. On the other hand, there's things like double hopped IPAs, and it's pretty intense, very bitter beers, but not my favorite. I just like kind of fruity, wheat-ish type of tasting beers is usually my favorite. So maybe that's just my tastes are changing as I age. Maybe that's what it is. Chris Dyke says, man, I hate having to do an afternoon run on Thursday. No bev for me until after. Well, I mean, you know what's happening on Thursday, so you just got to move your run. Are you running with a group then? Because if not, you can just move it to do a morning run if you can. Martha says she admits she doesn't like IPAs either. She loves her dark beers. You know, before I was not that I'm really into IPAs, but before I turned the corner on them, and I still think some of my favorite style of beer to drink is a nice porter. Almost, it's just kind of you just drink coffee all day and then you switch to porters at a certain point in the evening. And it's a nice transition. That's kind of how I like it. Lewis says, only a glass of water today. That's cool. Roadrunner Reviews is here. Terrence, who's got an Imperial 10.5%. That's strong. Yeah, I think that for me, once it gets over 7%, I'm I don't know if I'm going to really enjoy this. Yeah. Jody Run says, good day, everyone. Sody Mac says, already out for drinks. Cool. Very cool. Terrence Whee's still working on a coffee porter. Awesome. I mean, those are two flavors. It's a good combo. I think it was Rain Runner that says, yeah, here it is. Feels like it should be Friday. Hi, everyone. It does. It does. Although the days all blend. Casey A says, just got home from San Diego. Ran some incredible trails north of downtown in Rancho Santa Fe. Top runs of the year for you, sure. That's cool. That's real cool. I'm not sure that I've ever been out there. Patrick Bong says, Saucony is killing it this year. Ride 13, Triumph 18 coming out soon, and the Endorphin line. I think that they are having a good year. It'll be interesting to see by the time the year is done, which I don't know how many more releases there really are, practically speaking, from, I think Saucony and Asics are having the best year. New Balance is having a real good year too. I think we'll have to see, I'd like to wait to see what happens. We still don't have the Beacon 3 in the US. We still don't have a fuel cell RC. So like there's still some, there's still some room in here, but I'm thinking like Saucony's having a real good year. Power Run is a hit. Asics is also having a real good year too though. But I think the Triumph 18 as well as the Beacon 3, I think they're both out in the UK right now. Am I wrong? I think anyone in the UK, can you tell us? Because I was looking for Triumph 18. I was just doing a search on it this morning, and it pulled me to like the Saucony UK site, and it looked like you could buy them now. So I'm particularly interested in it. It looks like a slimmed down Triumph 17, which I like. Because the thing that I didn't like about the Triumph 17, there's not a lot of things I didn't like about it, but what I didn't like, it was just so puffy. It was like a big marshmallow of a shoe. Yes, it made it comfortable, but I was like, if I'm going to run with that in the summertime, which I didn't, but if I were, I'm going to need it to trim down a little bit. And the Triumph 18 looks like it has. It looks good. There's like an orange version that I think looks incredible. I might have to get that one. But the UKs have been having a great year for running, I feel like. Well, at least by great year for running, I feel like they've gotten all the shoes early before the rest of the world has. So, an envious position. I envy it. All right. Jose Alvarez says, PSA for your USA fans. Adidas SL20 Summer.Ready in blue from the official eBay seller account for $37.50. After 25%, you'll see it in cart. What? That's crazy. I've been running a lot in the SL20 lately because I'm trying to get it to 100 miles. I think with today's run, I'm at like 75 miles or so. So another 2 more runs and I'll be at the 100-mile mark on that shoe. I've been using it just as a daily trainer lately just to see if I can. And it's not bad. It kind of works. It's really bad though. It's really not great on some of the dirt roads out here. There's some times where I'm just like, oh, why does this gravel have to be so sharp? But I have been using it pretty much as a daily trainer for the last 2 or 3 runs, so 20 or 30 miles, and it works. But it does really it much prefers to be run a little bit faster. Mikhail Pichard says, hi, Michael. What's going on, Mikhail? Lewis M says, what up, what up? Rainrunner says, I'm thinking it's time for me to try a Saucony for the first time. Their lineup seems to have quite a span, and there's something for everyone. It's a little overwhelming how to navigate that. Yeah, that's for sure. And I was going to wait till we went back to Chicago. I really didn't think we'd be in Iowa this long, but I kind of did, but I didn't. So I've been saving, even though I'm done running in them, I passed like the 100-mile mark. Not that they're done. I could probably still run in them. I could still run them if I wanted to. I have the Triumph 17 and the Kinvara 11 sitting in boxes at the apartment in Chicago. And once the Ride came out, I was going to do a 4-shoe set on the Saucony line for this year. Triumph, Freedom, the Kinvara, and the Ride. But I think, and I wanted to have all 4 shoes so I can film them all. But I think I'm going to have to do what I did with the Adidas video last year, just like have them all individually and then splice together a video. Because I think that I have a couple of ways that I'm thinking about dividing up that line. And I think the way that it makes most sense to me is that there's 2 parallels, depending on whether you want Power Run or Power Run Plus. If you like Power Run, then you're going to get the Ride 13 as your daily trainer, and then if you like Power Run, you get the Kinvara 11 as your daily trainer, and the Ride 13 is your max cushion. If you like Power Run Plus, the Freedom 3 is your daily trainer, and then the Triumph 17 is your max cushion. So that's kind of how I see it. It's 2 separate lines. To try and like shuffle them all together into one 4-shoe set, I think doesn't make as much sense to me. Although I'll try to do that too in the video. So I might do that at some point next week and put that together. But that's kind of where I'm thinking. Otherwise, the way I think of it is it's like Triumph 17, Freedom 3 / Ride 13, and then Kinvara. So like there's like 2 that are kind of overlapping depending on what you like. But the Freedom 3 and the Ride 13, they're not similar shoes, but they fit in kind of the similar space for me. Anyway. B. Rutland says, side note, Saucony endorphin speed plus treadmill equals kangaroo face palm. That's funny. Mosimo 1993 says, Mosimo in 1993. That's a good combination of name and date. Good morning all from Melbourne. Awesome. All right. Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking about those shoes. People have been asking about the Ride 13 versus the Pegasus, which I think I might make that video. Probably it won't hit till next week as well. I'll have to run in the Pegasus again just to refresh my recollection on that one. But I'm glad that, and I think that makes a lot of sense, especially with how the Ride 13 ended up being this year, and the way that the Peg 37 ended up being this year. But I was going to cut it open to take a look at that new Air Pocket, the Zoom Air Pocket. I'm glad I didn't, because now I'd like to run in it. So we'll see. We'll see. Rainrunner is looking forward to that Saucony video. So I think I'm going to try to do it, even though I don't have all 4 shoes with me. But I'll try to do that. That'll probably come out next week. I need to do more miles in the Ride 13 before I can really do that. But yeah, we'll get that. And then maybe then after that, then I'll probably need to do a Peg 37 versus like the Clifton 7, which I hear that is also out in England right now, or in the UK as well. Someone messaged me today and said they got it today and they're in England. Yeah, so that's another one. So that maybe I will hold off on chopping open that Pegasus. B. Rutland says, here for the Peg 37 Saucony Ride 13. Thanks for doing that. Yeah, I think so. Oh, Patrick Fung says, Seth cut his Peg 37s open already. Okay, good. So now I don't have to do that. Because now I do have access to the tools. My father-in-law has like a fairly well-equipped shop. So like I think he has I'm pretty sure he has a bandsaw. So I'd cut it once open, and the next time I'd try to just like excision out the or excise the Air Pocket. But if I'll look for Seth's video to see what his is done. Because like I've seen one, at least videos of one, like the Pocket, like by itself. But you know, I want to see what it looks like after someone's running it. Anyway, Steve says, 3 miles into an easy run yesterday, I stopped at a shop for 5 minutes. When I started again, I had a sharp pain in the ball of my foot. I carried on and it went away after another mile or so. Any ideas? If it's in the ball of your foot, that kind of sounds like the pain that I've had from time to time. It's similar to what I think the closest thing is that it's a Morton's neuroma, but I don't think it is, because I don't think those go away and come back. But if it's what I found is if I run in a lot of very like cramped toe box shoes, that will kind of make it flare up. If I do that for several days in a row, I might at some point it'll just like flare up and like it'll feel like I've stepped on something, or like something really sharp is in my shoe. The other thing it happens with is shoes with a lot of React foam in the forefoot. So like the Zoom Fly 3, and then I think it happened to me a little bit with the Epic. No, not so much with the Epic React. It would come and go, but really with the Zoom Fly 3 it happened a lot where it happened. There was a guy that I was messaging with for a while on Instagram who had a theory that like there's something wrong when there's that much React foam. And he was using like a drill bit, or not a drill bit, but like a drill with like a boring bit on it to make like a 1-inch diameter hole all the way through the center, not the center, but like the ball of the foot. And then he made like a plate or something to go over it so that way your socks wouldn't get like wet. And so that things wouldn't go in there, but he would cut a hole in it. He said that fixed the problem. He was going to send me a pair of shoes that he did that to. And then he never ended up doing it. But I've run into stuff like that before. I don't know if you guys have, but I've seen it before. Hopefully it's not that, because then the solution is to just find different shoes with more room in the toe box. That's been the solution for me. I don't know what you're running in, Steve. Ed Chan says, notice that On Running released their carbon fiber marathon racer today, the Cloud Boom, which should be pronounced in a SF2 Guile voice. The Street Fighter 2 voice. That's so funny. I thought, is that what I saw? I saw on Instagram today a new On shoe, which is interesting. I wonder, I think Jake Riley, came in second place U.S. marathon trials. I think he's an on athlete now. So I wonder if they did that to give him, because he needed to run in it at some point coming up. Or if that, I wonder if that was like, I mean, it must have always, it's not like they just decided to make the shoe once they signed him as a sponsored athlete, because I think that was like last week. But yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. I did the on Cloudflow. I forget which on I did. It didn't agree with me. I didn't like it. I didn't understand it, I think. Kyle Patton said, sad news today. As of last night, Georgia Governor Kemp banned cities from requiring masks in public. Feels like we were falling backwards at this point. I saw that news today, and I just think it's so weird. It's one thing to not... it's one thing to just be like, these are decisions better left on the state and local levels. I get that, and I like that approach. It seems like a punt to me when government officials say that. It's another thing to then, when those local officials make those decisions, say, no, you can't do that. That seems weird. That's the nicest way I could say it. But man, Kyle, hopefully you're staying safe out there. And here's the thing to remember. Just because it's not required doesn't mean you can't go ahead and do it. So like we're seeing Walmart, Kroger, Best Buy, Starbucks. I think such a topsy-turvy time that we live in right now, that corporations are leading the way in terms of like citizenship. It's weird. It's a weird time. But be safe, Kyle. I hope you're safe. Sean Marshall says, believe in the run. Oh, where'd it go? I'm just looking at it and then it moved. Believe in the run, loves the Saucony 20 line, but hates on the laces. I could see that. The puffy laces, I don't get it. It's just like, they don't seem more comfortable to me. They just seem like another area where things get sweaty. But, I don't dislike them as much as I dislike the Brooks shoelaces on the Tempo. So, looks like J. Mike Remy's here. Good to see you, J. Mike. Eric V says, Zoom Fly Flyknit with React was very comfortable. Why did I gift them? Smack my head. LOL. Yeah, the Zoom Fly Flyknit, I like that one. That one also gave me a little bit of pain. That pain that we were talking about underneath the ball of the foot, I definitely felt a little bit of that in that, but it wasn't anything near like what I had in the Zoom Fly 3. But like, I liked Flyknit. I know like everyone ditched it fast, but I liked it. I was a fan. Venkat Shashank says, thank you for Adidas deal on eBay USA. That's cool that you're able to get, the fact that I don't understand. And so like, I'm trying to get, two different, I'm trying to talk to some company reps. People from Motor Sports were like, hey, we want to help you out, because they've always been real good to me. And they were like, is there anyone that we could put you in touch with? And I was like, I'd love to just talk to some product reps. That'd be cool. Kind of like what Running Warehouse does. But I'd love to get someone on in a live stream like this, so that way everyone can kind of ask questions, and do it in that kind of format. But like, I would really love to talk to an Adidas rep and be like, what is going on with the SL20? And what is the RC 2.0? Like, those are like two questions I just don't, the SL20 is it's a great shoe. I don't think they understand what they have on their hands. Like, I don't know why they can't sell it. It's a good shoe, but like, they're selling it like it's, I don't know. Is there something wrong with it? I don't know. I don't think that there is. I love that shoe. JH says TGIF from Sydney, Australia. Oh, I'll see, for some of us it's Friday. Not me, but for you guys, awesome. Says halfway through the morning run. Awesome. Right under the, well, are you running and like watching the live stream? Super cool. I usually listen to you on my way to work once the live stream is over. That's so cool. Right under the Sydney Harbor Bridge right now. That would be an awesome place to be, I think. It just seems like a beautiful place for a run. Jay Henry says, love the vids. Awesome. Thank you. JH says, thanks for these awesome streams. Made a note to check in while you are live today. Well, thanks so much. I appreciate that. I'm like the pretext. I'm the reason why everyone's here, but everyone being here is what makes this place awesome, right? That's what makes the streams fun. Because if it wasn't for everyone else here, I would just be me rambling for a long time, and I don't think anyone wants that. So it's great to be able to like feed off of what you guys are saying. Steve says he's been running in the React Infinity a fair bit. That was a concern that I had about that shoe long term, because there is just a thick, crazy amount of React foam in it. And I was kind of worried that might happen with the Pegasus 37, because it has, well, on paper it says it doesn't have a lot of React foam on it, but I think that there's more than what the stack height might indicate. But it also has like a hole in the place where that guy that I was telling you about was drilling holes. But instead of there just being a hole, there's a zoom air pocket. So, I mean, maybe that's why I like that one. I don't know. Mr. Random says, hello all from London town. Starting to wonder why people do not think much of the Peg 37. It's not, I will agree with you that it doesn't seem to have as much of the fire that most people like associate it with every year. I think part of it is that last year for the 36, they invited a whole bunch of new running media and YouTubers, not me, but lots of other people out to Portland to go and like interview some of the pro athletes and have like a weekend of fun, go run around Michael Johnson track and all that kind of stuff. So a big push from the social media side, but also from like also just a product launch side as well. I remember just like along the lakefront, there was like a Nike tent one day on a Saturday, like a month before it came out, saying like, hey, you want to try these on? There's the new Pegasus. I was like, oh, that's cool. So they had lots of stuff like that. This year, I don't think they could do a lot of that. So maybe that has deflated some of the excitement for it. It didn't have like the ability to have the same push that it might normally otherwise get. I think that the other thing is that it's heavier this year, which was a surprise. So yeah, I'm not saying it's not a good shoe. It's a great shoe, but like I was expecting a lot more from it this year. Not that it's a disappointment, but I had really, really high hopes for it. So maybe that's why it is. It's not a bad shoe though. It's a really good shoe. All right, JH is currently running in the Saucony Hurricane ISO. Got it for 80 Australian bucks. Very cool. That's a great price. Yeah. Vegan Runner says, yo, what's going on? What's going on, Vegan Runner? Kevin Johnson says, I haven't heard much of an update from your Ultra Trail shoe. What's going on there? Oh, I really like that one. I just don't want, I'm trying to get some other shoes like not out the door, but like completed before I spend more time in it. So I did wear it to the trail run day, the attempted trail run. So no, I rode the Sensoride 3 because that I was like, if that area is muddy, I might be on my hands and knees, like just trying to like crawl up stuff. So I was like, I need more trail. But I like that Ultra Superior. It's great. I think it's perfect for where I'm running right now, where it's like half of the time I'm on roads, maybe more than half I'm on dirt roads. And so it's just been great, but I'm just trying to spread out the love a little bit. And what I'd like to do is I'm trying to finish up running in the SL20 to get to the 100-mile review of that. The next shoe that I have the most miles in is in the Hyperion Tempo. I might run the Heritage Trail, my FKT attempt, in that shoe. So I'm not sure if I need to finish run. That shoe has like 60 miles on them. And then I have a lot of shoes that have like about 50 or 45 miles on them. So I'm trying to like, I don't want to have like 2 weeks straight of 100-mile review videos. I try to like space them out. So there's like some new shoes, some old shoes. So I like to mix it up. So I'm just spreading the love. But I've been really enjoying the Superior 4.5. That's a real hit. That's a fun shoe. I think that like anyone that has liked the Terra Kiger, I haven't tried this year's Terra Kiger, but if you like last year's Terra Kiger, or if you like last year's Peg 36 Trail, like and you're looking to get a similar shoe like that, but want to try Ultra and the zero drop, that's a good option. I also like the Escalante a lot too. So, but yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. I love it. I just don't have. There's so many shoes, not enough miles. That's the thing. AJ Munn says, going to cross country season, what daily trainers should I get? I think, AJ, that it would depend on kind of like the terrain that you're training on. If you're doing mostly road and track for your training sessions, then I would say like I would look for a solid daily trainer. The Pegasus 37 is a good one. I think the Rincon could be a good one for you as well. I like, let's see, what else is there? The Beacon, I want to get the Beacon 3 because it's like weird to recommend the Beacon 2, but I really like the Beacon 2. But those are good ones as well. If you're on a little bit of grass from time to time, shoes like the Ride 13 that I reviewed today would be a good option too, because you're getting a little bit more tread on the bottom there. I'd say the Evo Ride is probably a good choice for like a high school or a college cross country runner, depending on the terrain. If it's grassy, I might not, but if it's mostly road or like a dirt road or track, then I think that could be a good choice because you're spending a lot of time going fast. Boston 9, also a very good choice, I think. So those are some options for you. Martha says, I'm amazed how well the outsoles of the Hyperion Tempo are holding up. They looked too pretty to be so durable. I'm surprised too. I was sure that stuff was going to flake off or like peel or wear down quick, but it's holding up even on some of the dirt roads out here. So that shoe is just such a surprise. And I do really hope that Brooks understands like how good, I mean, I think they do because they're like unveiling like a whole bunch of shoes that are like that. But like, it's a good shoe. I mean, I feel like that could be a franchise shoe. Like you could build a whole bunch of other shoes around that shoe and that idea. So, yeah. Kyle Hatton says, I have to stick to the wide toe brands like Topo and Ultra, lest I say wear farewell to toe health. Yeah, you know, I have noticed that I have this, my left pinky toe usually takes the brunt of the speedier shoes that I have. And it's usually a little bit sore. It always looks pretty mangled, but it's usually also a little bit tender. But since I've had some wider shoes in the rotation this summer, specifically like the Ultra, that toe is feeling stronger than ever. So there might be something to it. I might be a wide toe box convert. I'm not gonna say I'm only gonna run in wide toe boxes, but like, you know, when people are like, oh, wide toe box, splay, I used to be like, is that really that important? I'm coming around to it. Frank Lahullier says, my favorite Ultra shoe was the 1 2.5. They quit making it and it makes me sad. Yeah, you know, I think that like, are people still hoarding shoes? Because I remember that used to be a thing, like shoes would just get discontinued all the time. And you'd be like, oh, or like they would just change super drastically and you'd be like, oh, now they ruined it and I can't find anything else that I like. And people would buy like 4 or 5 pairs of the same one. My running buddy still does that just because like he has a hard time like figuring out what shoe he really wants. So when he finds one he likes, he buys like the same one over and over again. Part of it because he's very frugal. And so he's like, this shoe worked for me. I really enjoyed it. And now rather than get like he liked the Ghost 11 a lot. So rather than get the Ghost 12, which I'm like, it's pretty much the same shoe. He was like, no. I'm going to find Ghost 11s because they're cheaper and it's the same shoe. I'm like, oh, makes sense. He's like, I hate these colors though. I'm like, you know how you can solve that color problem is just get the new one. But he liked the old one. So that's what he does. And I know a lot of people when shoes, like I think people were stocking up on the Zoom Elite when they announced that one was going away. You know, I don't know. Do I need to go around and start trying to get like the Zoom Streak and the Zoom Streak LT? What are they on, 4? Because I don't think they're making new ones of that anymore, are they? Yeah. Ty Matt says, you'll need to get in on these Reebok Float Ride shoes. Great stuff for good prices. People tell me about Reebok Float Ride every day. And you're right. I need to get on that. I've been definitely neglecting that because I do get at least one message or tweet or YouTube comment a day about Reebok Float Ride. Daniel M. Does anyone else think the sound is low today, or am I going deaf? Sound could definitely be low. That could be me. I've been having problems with the audio. All right. I raised the volume a little bit. Hopefully that helps and doesn't create clicking or weird sounds. All right. I'm also sitting, I lean back a little bit too. Hopefully that's not what it is. I saw a comment. Someone's taking their kid to the orthodontist right now. Oh, Patrick Fung, taking my boy to the orthodontist. Always a pleasure being here. Take care and stay safe, friends. Well, have fun at the orthodontist. Hopefully you could do that safely. I feel good though about like dental professionals because I feel like they understand like how to be safe. But that being said, I have skipped my twice yearly cleaning and checkup, and I have not rescheduled it. I'm just not that eager to go to do that. Kyle Patton says, when I worked in a local run shop, I noticed most people's feet seem to have the ultra shape, but the industry is diehard about narrowness at the toes. Yeah, I mean, I think there's something to be said for wanting to feel locked in when you're running fast. But I do think that there is room for some room in especially your daily trainers. And the Ultra Superior kind of proves it. You don't have to make if your shoe is foot shaped, which it's weird that we have to like say if your shoe, all shoes should be foot shaped. But like if it's foot shaped like the Ultra is foot shaped, you don't have to then make the outsole look like toes. You could have a more natural, like a more like traditional like running shoe outsole looking outsole. I think that would help. But a lot of times with these like foot shaped shoes, they always look so goofy, or they have 5 fingers, or there's always something weird about it that makes them hard for people that are like interested in the idea to really adopt, I think. But I do think the industry is diehard about narrowness. That's why I think that this year a lot of shoes got longer because it's more aesthetically pleasing for people. I think it throws sizing off, but I feel like shoes got longer this year. I feel like the Ultra Boost got longer for sure. I feel like the Ride 13 got longer. Well, those are the only 2 that I can think of right now. But I feel like it's a trend. The Evo Ride looks like a very long shoe. It feels like it's longer than it needs to be. But I think that's part of it. Ryan R 1904 says, any suggestions on a neutral daily trainer? Yeah, there's lots of options out there for you, Ryan, depending on the brand. So like today I reviewed the Saucony Ride 13. I think that's a really great daily trainer. Someone wrote in a comment that is like, this is a standard everyday daily trainer. Boring, or something along those lines. He said like basically like boring, or this is like dull or something like that. I'm like, it's an everyday trainer. It's not supposed to be boring, but like just because it's standard and you use it every day is not a bad word. I just think that it was weird. But I think the Ride 13 definitely fits in that category. Peg 37. I like the Ultra Escalante as a daily trainer. It's got a lot of midsole foam in it. That's the thing that I didn't realize, that I think most people don't with Ultra, is that it's 0 drop, but it's not 0 stack height. There's a lot of stack height, and it makes it nice and lively to run in. The Kinvaro is real good for me this year. The Clifton, I'm looking forward to the Clifton 7. I can't wait to get Clifton 7s. Cliftons are perfect for this area because they've got those deep grooves. They're great to run on the dirt. They're great to run on the road. I really can't wait to get a pair of Cliftons. That's going to be an exciting shoe. I was gonna order them early today. I was gonna pre-order them today, but then I didn't have my wallet with me, so I couldn't do it. But I got to do that. I want to get them. I'm looking forward to that one. J. Mike Remy says, yes, I hoarded Boston 7. Still have a pair with 0 miles on it. That's amazing. That is really amazing. But like the Boston doesn't change that much from year to year, though. J Mike, like, do you think that the 8s were that different? I wonder. I wonder if they were. I do think that the 8 is noticeably different than the 9. I feel like there's not as much around the back of the heel in terms of just like your landing zone and all that. I think it's an improvement, but I feel like there's less there. I think it makes it more flexible of a shoe in a good way. Scott says Clifton 7 to replace the 1080 V10. I think it's a good swap. I think it makes a lot of sense to me. Mark Lagtag says, "Hi Kafuzi, just got my Hoka ring cone and although the shoe is awesome, it's too narrow." Yeah, that shoe, I'm interested in the ring cone too, because I think that it's pretty much the same as a ring cone 1. I'm hoping that there's a little bit more room in there, because that shoe I feel like was a little bit tight. Now, you're supposed to run fast in that shoe, and that's another shoe, like that's a situation where you want the shoe to be a little bit tighter, kind of like you want a 5-point harness when you're in a race car. You don't want just like a regular seat belt or like a lap belt like you're on like the teacups at Disney World. You want to be like snug in there. But I do think that the ring con was tough. That made my little pinky on my left foot, that made that toe hurt a little bit. I'm hoping that the ring con 2 is a little bit more forgiving. I don't think it is, but I hope. Rainrunner says, I was kind of expecting some more exciting colorways on the Clifton 7. I think, though, that there will be, just not at launch. That being said, I think there's an amazing number of colors for a launch. I think that at launch there's going to be like 5 women's colorways and 6 or 7 men's. It comes in black. Don't worry. The black and white one I think looks great. I think it looks really good. So I'll definitely be trying to get that one. That's the only one that I really need. I also I think they should do more of like the color ring cone that I had with the yellow midsole foam. It was like black and blue on the top. I thought that was nice. J. Rank Remy says, I used to run in the Supernova and then they changed them and discontinued. So when I found the Boston 7, I bought as many as they would sell me. That's so funny. That's so funny. I feel like that people had to do that a lot. Because I remember when I was training for my first marathon back in 2010, the shoe that I really liked, by the time that I was ready to buy another one, they're like, nope, we don't have any more. They're not going to be releasing anymore. And I think this is the last year that they're going to have them. So they gave me a different Mizuno shoe to run in, and it was a stability shoe, and that one messed me up. Well, it's not all the shoe's fault, but that's how I connect those things in my mind. So I can understand the desire to hoard the shoes. I mean, like, if that's like next year, like the Tempo 2 is like a disaster and they somehow like ruin it, like the Hyperion Tempo 2, I might go back and try to pick up all those Hyperion Tempo 1s. Just because that's a good shoe. You can run in those all day. Rainrunner says, my last 2 pairs of Clifton have been black, so I was excited for something bright. You know, there was, last year in the Clifton 6, there was like a cream colored one that I thought was real nice. I like that one. But otherwise, like the blue and yellow is like classically Hoka. So like those are always a good choice. But like, I like the, like I don't think I know anyone at Hoka. But if I did, I would tell them, make a Clifton in the blackout colorway. Like Saucony did. Black upper, gray midsole. And then make the Hoka wording and the bird, make that like a dark color too. Even a triple, I don't think I need a triple black, but like a black on gray. I'm Lego Batman, so like that's what I like. I think that would look really sharp. But they always insist, and it's very Hoka. So I'm not trying to make Hoka not be itself, but I'm just telling you what I would like. But like they always make the Hoka so prominent, they always make it jump out. And so like that's like kind of their branding language, but I get it. But I wouldn't mind like black on gray on more gray. That'd be good. Rainrunner says Hoka used to release more colorways with a non-white sole. I love those options. I mean, I think that like especially now since a lot of foams can't be colored, like all like the Power Run and Boost, since they can't be colored, I think it's a great option that if you can do it. Travis Rogan says Bondi has an all black. It kind of looks kind of like an orthopedic shoe. I will agree. I think Stephanie Bruce has a pair of the all blacks, and I think it's just so much black that to me it looks like a Frankenstein shoe. Like not a Frankenstein shoe like a mix of parts, but like think of like Frankenstein's monster. It looked like the boots that he would wear. That's what it looks like a little bit to me. Nothing against the Bondi. I like the Bondi, but like Tony Masio says black shoes are the slowest color. Like I know, it's okay, but I like them. I just like them. Casey Petty says make it look like the Elevon 2 black colorway. That's a great looking shoe. The Elevon 2s were very striking. They were good looking shoes, weren't they? Jameson Bryan says, are you going to review the Nike Space Hippie 01? I wasn't planning on doing any Nike casual shoes this year, but I love the idea of that shoe. New Balance has a shoe that's kind of like that concept, but New Balance's shoes, there's like a New Balance shoe that's like a garbage shoe. It's basically a Frankenstein shoe, like a hodgepodge of old parts and other scraps that they assemble into a shoe. And so like no two are exactly alike, I think. But the Space Hippie is made out of all sorts of renewable materials, undyed, recycled materials, scavenged materials, I think. So I love the idea of that shoe, but I'm not sure that I'll get to it. Martha says, Kofuzi, I was bummed out when you revealed that the soles of the Speed are just painted. I'm sure those Hyperion Tempo soles are solid blue. Yeah, the Hyperion Tempo shoe, I suspected that the Speed were just painted because I don't think that you can color that kind of material. The Hyperion Tempo, what I would love to be able to do as kind of like a YouTube throwback is get a knife really hot and cut it with a hot knife. Like, and I want to, oh boy. I was getting a phone call. But I want to cut it with like a super hot knife, like get the knife like super hot and cut it. Remember when that was like a thing on YouTube? Those videos were so weird. But cut it with a super hot knife and see what's inside and see what happens to it when you like cut through and sear that color foam. Because for whatever reason, I think that DNA flash material looks like a weird like Japanese wedding cake from the future. Like it's like a weird color and texture and consistency, and I want to eat it. It's so strange. And I want to slice it like a cake. That's what I want. When I'm done with those shoes, I'm not going to get a knife super hot. I'm just going to end up hurting myself. But I would love to see them sliced open. But I think they're blue all the way through. Solar Rienix says, Adidas Adizero Pro for tempo days. Do you think that's a good idea? Yeah, I think so. I think it's a great tempo day shoe or a shorter, like a half. I think any way that I would use an Adios 5, I think is where the Adizero Pro fits in. I was hoping that with the increased stack height that it would be a marathon racer. I'm not sure that it is. I need to run in that shoe some more. But it's going to be a while, I think, till I have time to run that one. AJ Munn says, I don't know why, but I feel like I'm the only kid in the chat. You're not the only one here. Lots of people are in here. But I'm glad you're here. I mean, I'm here. Jameson Bryan says, if you do want to review them or pick them up, I think they're releasing tomorrow those the Space Hippies on sneakers. So it'd have to be fast or buy for resale. Yeah, I think if it's I got to buy it tomorrow, I think it's going to be a pass for me. Mark Lagtag says, I hit on the Nike Space Hippie 02. Awesome. Can't wait for them to come in. I already have the 04 in hand. They are wild. Kofuzi, you'll like the feel. Reminds me of a wider Epic React. with a comfier upper. Well, that sounds really pleasant right now. Maybe I could use them to mow lawn. Because the Wave Riders are those are my go-to lawn mowing shoes right now. Kevin Knoll says, are you getting the Adizero Adios Pro? Are they Adizero Adios Pro or are they just Adios Pro? Anyway, those thicker ones with the metatarsal rods rather than the carbon plate. I would like to. I missed out on the first raffle. And then someone messaged me the other day. It was like, hey, I got a pair of 8.5s, 8.5s, if you want to buy those off of me. And I was like, oh, maybe I could squeeze my foot in there, but I have a feeling I wouldn't have liked it. And then it's like, if I didn't have a good experience, and it's because I had the wrong size and I didn't want to do that. So I'm thinking, yeah. Yeah, I would like to, but I don't know if I'll be able to get to it. Let's see. 42 BJT42 says, idea for a vid. Review some tiny phones suitable for carrying while running, like emergency running phones. I've been trying to reach out to Palm, because remember Palm had that like little tiny phone that they had. So like it was not its own phone. It was like basically like a life raft. So you had your regular phone, and then I don't know if you had to switch your SIMs or what you did to it, but it would kind of like be a smaller Palm phone that you would carry around, and it was the size of like the Palm. Does anyone remember the Palm Pre? That was one of the best phones ever. But it was like smaller than the Palm Pre, and it wasn't a slider, but it was just like a regular phone. And I really was like, hey, seems like the perfect like outdoor endurance adventure phone. Like, would you guys send me one? Never even got a response. I mean, I was messaging. I don't know how to reach out to brands. I know about as much as you guys do. I was like just like hitting up their Instagram DMs, but that would have been a good one. But what do you mean, like burner phones? Like you want me to get like go to like 7-Eleven and pick up the phones and like the plastic clamshells and see if those are good for running? I mean, I would suppose that they would all be good for running, like if you just want to make a phone call. I don't know how like useful that would be. Oh yeah, you guys are talking about AJ. You're the only kid in the chat. Oh, you're not the only kid in the chat. There's other kids in the chat. Sorry about that. Sometimes things go right over my head. I'm trying to read all the comments real fast. I'm trying to make eye contact with you guys. I know I'm not good at that. I've been working on that. 2 things I've been working on for the live streams, because I've been listening to some of them in replay lately. One is making more eye contact with the camera, because I know you guys, sometimes you listen to it in the background. Some of you are listening to it like afterwards, and some of you might be in the podcast, but some of you guys are watching. And I think it's weird when like you see me like just looking down all the time. So I'm trying to make more eye contact. That's one thing. The other thing I'm trying to do is to stop saying so much. I say it a ton. It's just like a placeholder. It's a filler. I don't know where that came from, because especially in law school, there it is again. I spent a lot of time practicing and training on how to just say nothing instead of the And then once we got in these live streams, just ums everywhere. So I'm working. Those are 2 things I'm working on. I think the third thing that I need to work on then is also making sure that I'm actually reading a little bit more carefully some of these comments. The other thing is that makes me kind of nervous is when I say like, oh, JC says or Rainrunner says, I don't read the comment first. So I feel a little bit like, what is it? The newscaster that like, if you put it on the teleprompter, he'll read anything. I feel like that. So sometimes as I'm reading, I might have to like stop or change some of the words in a comment that's in there. But like once I start, I just start. I usually don't read it ahead of time, just to give you a little hint. Kimsuki Soup says, hey Kufuzi, what shoes are in your current rotation? So right now I've got a whole bunch, and I think that there's the shoes that I brought with me. I brought probably like 10. Right now I have probably about 15 pairs of shoes. But right now in the rotation, the shoes that I'm actively trying to like work on and run on, I think there's probably about 4 or 5 at a time that I kind of take a more active look and focus on at a time. And what was the question again? The question was what shoes? So right now the shoes that I'm paying more close attention to are the Boston 9, the SL20, the Hyperion Tempo, the Endorphin Speed. The Ride 13 just got added, but I might run in that a couple more times in the next week and then give it a little bit of a break, so that won't really be in the rotation. The Ultra Superior is another one that's in the rotation. So 5 or 6. Those are what are the main ones in the rotation right now. Ron Burgundy. Yeah, I am Ron Burgundy. Scotch. I love Scotch. Scotch. I think next time I'll have to have Scotch. I don't know if there's any Scotch in this house. There's whiskey, but I don't know if there's Scotch. How does that shirt go? It's a Brooks shirt because Des Linden says it. Bourbon is whiskey, or whiskey is bourbon. No, bourbon is whiskey. That's how the shirt goes. Rainer says, yeah, I'm always impressed by how laid back you are and you're multitasking to the max. I'm trying to make it like real conversational, but I remember, I always keep in mind that you guys aren't seeing what I see, so I have to read out what I see. But that also gives me time to like think about an answer or a response to whatever you guys are saying or asking too. So that's how it works. Logan Gordon says, how do you deal with stress fracture? I don't know, because I don't think I've ever had a stress fracture, but my understanding is you got to get off it and you have to rest it. You have to let it heal. I don't think that's a stress fracture is an injury you can run through or accelerate the healing. I think with certain muscle injuries or ligament injuries, there's, to an extent, you get off it, you rest it, and then you have to work it to get to maximal recovery, kind of like physical therapy. I don't think stress fractures are like that. I think you have to wait for the stress fracture to heal before you can get back on it. That's my understanding. If you have a stress fracture, though, I would do whatever your doctor says to do. Derek Dixon, yes. Bourbon is whiskey, Larry. That's how it goes. T. Davis says, what do you consider a short run? Like, what's the shortest distance you'll go out for? These days, the shortest distance I'll go out for is 5 miles. But I would say anything over 5K is a good amount. 2 miles, if you got to, and that's all you got, I would run them fast. Run them hard if that's all you can do for the day time-wise. But, yeah, I usually, if I could only get 5K in on a day, I might just say, you know what? This might be a good rest day. That's kind of where I am. And around here, unless I do a weird out and back, the shortest loop that I can do is 5 miles. So it's not really conducive to short distance running. So the loops that I can do, there's only so many roads that are in this area. So there's kind of routes that I've made. There's a couple that are 11. There's a loop that's 5. There's one loop that's 7, which I haven't done yet. It's new. There's a 15-mile loop that I do, and then there's a 20-mile, it's like 21 and a half or 22-mile loop that I can do. That takes me all the way up to Colesburg. That's far. I haven't done that one since December, I think. So, yeah. So I have nothing but long runs around here. Recycle on Wednesday says, we're not in court, though. It's much more natural to use fillers in conversations. Fillers serve a purpose. That's why most of us didn't register that you use them. Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad it wasn't noticeable. To me, they jump out at me when I hear me talking back. So thanks for that, though. Malcolm Kent says, hey, Co, do you plan on running in the Hyperion Elite 2, considering you hated the first one? I absolutely want to run in the Hyperion Elite 2. I can't wait. It's supposed to be DNA Flash. I also, need to have it to compare to the Hyperion Elite 1. So that's a story that hasn't resolved itself yet. So I need that Hyperion Elite 2. There is that again. Anyway, Let's do one more. We'll do one from DW training. Are you still, and we got to go. I didn't realize it's almost 4 o'clock. I got girls waiting to go jump in the pool. Not a pool, but like the kiddie pool. So it's from DW Running. Says, do you, I forget what the exact wording was, but he's asking if I'm still doing low heart rate training. Are you still using any MAF training? I would say yes, I think I am. Most of my runs are at my MAF heart rate or lower. I try to stay below that unless I'm on a hill. If I'm on a hill, I'll give myself a little bit of like leeway to just get up the hill a little bit. But there are times where, like right now, I'm tuning up for about a 50K attempt. So I'll do some faster work in preparation for that. But otherwise, all my recovery runs, all my recovery paces are all at my MAF heart rate or lower. I suppose I should get on the track at some point and do another one just to see where we're at. Maybe after the 50K attempt, give myself a little bit of rest, and then we'll do another MAF test. I think that'll be fun. Maybe we'll do that just to kind of follow up on that. I think it's been probably over 2,000 miles that I've been since I started running with MAF training. Now, all that hasn't been at low heart rate because some of that's been speed work, tempo work, intervals, things like that, but all within the umbrella of training with low heart rate. So that's kind of where we are. So, all right. Sorry to keep you guys long today. We went a little bit longer than usual, but I was just having so much fun talking to all you guys and kids, or you kids. We could use that for everybody. That's cool. Tomorrow's video is going to be about... I think it's going to be, it's going to be about a new GoPro accessory that has kind of saved my butt ever since this camera kind of had all its weird issues. So a little bit technical, but I'm going to try to make it a little bit more quirky and fun. So we'll see if I can pull that off. And then we'll do another live stream Friday, 3 p.m. Central Time. Hopefully I'll see you guys there. If not, hopefully you guys are staying safe on your runs, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everybody.